Another month means another video on a practical use case with AI. This is where I'm going to be showcasing how to create a lead collection AI agent within Vectorshift, and this is something that is going to be autonomous. Vectorshift is an ideal all-in-one generative AI platform. This is something I was requested to make a video on a couple of times in previous videos, and it's actually a series on which I've been making many practical videos with Vectorshift, and this is something I truly recommend that you take a look at. Now, this isn't just your generic AI agent lead collection chatbot, as we're going to connect Airtable, which is a platform to build next generation applications. This is where our leads can leverage AI to accelerate critical workflows within Airtable. Why would anyone want to create a lead collection AI agent in the first place? Well, this is because with the help of AI, you can expedite the process of lead conversion by setting up this AI automation, which is going to save thousands of hours as well as increasing your productivity and saving you expenses. Now, what platform are we going to be using? It's our trusty toolset called Vectorshift, and you've probably seen this many times on the channel. And like I said before, Vectorshift is an all-in-one generative AI platform, but it's not just for building and deploying AI automations. It's something that could be used for crafting automations for AI agents that are very intricate at solving complex tasks. They could be used for assistants, chatbots, and so many other things. This is an ideal platform that I truly recommend over many other toolsets. But with that thought, guys, let's get straight to the video and showcase how we can automate this lead collection AI agent. Now, before we get started, I definitely recommend that you take a look at the Patreon page so that you can access the new subscriptions that we'll be releasing this week. If you would like to book a consulting call with me, you can do so with the link in the description below as well. Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video at the World of AI. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Vectorshift once again, as we're going to be using it to create and automate a lead collection AI agent. So what I want you guys to do is go on to the Vectorshift.ai website. Once you are here, click on the Get Started button. This is to basically create your account. Create an account with your email address or with Google or with GitHub. This is obviously if you do not have an account. Once you have created an account, we'll be then sent over to the dashboard. Once you have signed in or signed up, you'll be then sent over to the pipeline dashboard. This is where you're going to be able to manage all your automations as well as all your workflows. On the marketplace, you can see that there's already ready-made platforms or workflows that have been already created. But since we are starting from scratch, we can go to the pipeline page and create one from scratch. But you can see that there's various things that you can work with. You have evaluation metrics in which you can track your chatbots as well as your AI agents, as well as analytics on spending and expenses. You have the ability to upload your own storage, your own knowledge base, and so many other things such as transformations. But now what we're going to be doing is showcasing how we can get started with this setup from scratch. You can simply just click on this, but you can also utilize all these other templates if you're going to be doing something like Gmail lead automation. You can do certain things in the finance and strategy field, productivity, where you can create a document task completion agent, and so many other things. But now we're going to start off by just creating a pipeline from scratch by simply clicking on this, which is going to send us over to this drag and drop UI. And this is how you're going to be able to craft your AI automation with no code, with a simple drag and drop UI. Now, this lead collection AI agent will begin on asking the user for a name as well as an email, and then answer basic questions. And this is where it's going to be utilizing RAG with our knowledge base. Now, one thing I want to mention is that we're going to elevate this automation by having the leads put into Airtable for easier management of our data. You can also replace Airtable with Google Sheets, for example, and you can do this with the integrations tab, where you can implement any sort of database integration or something that manages your data with these apps over here. Like always, we're going to start off by placing an input node as well as an output node for both inputs queried into this automation, having an output that will be sent through a chatbot or with Airtable, which we would put another integration. And this is by just simply placing an Airtable node. And this is so that the responses are sent in and sent out to a chatbot within the Vectorshift chatbot platform, as well as having it sent to Airtable. Next, we're going to be placing a knowledge node, and this is where we're going to be loading our own data so that it could basically help answer questions for whoever is interacting with our AI agents. Next, we're going to go to the chat tab, and this is where we're going to place in a data collector, and this is where we're going to be collecting different fields such as names as well as emails for our lead collection. We're also going to be placing in an open AI large language model node. You can also place any of these other nodes from other providers. You can even source it from open source from Hugging Face. But in this case, we're going to be using OpenAI as it's probably one of the best models in this use case. Now, the reason why we're going to be using this is so that we can use it for natural language processing. So I have went along and I basically connected all of our nodes together, the ones that we have at the current moment. This is to basically save some time, but I started off by adding a field. This is where I'm going to be collecting names as well as emails. This is where I give it a description, the name of the user and the email of the user. And for example, I put in a random email, mahi@gmail.com. And for example, I placed in my name. Now you can also add more fields to collect more types of data from your users, but this is something that I'm using as an example. Now I created my own knowledge base as well. You can do so by just simply clicking on create new knowledge base, give it a name, description, tweak the advanced settings, and you can have it so that it could even integrate third-party integrations. You can see that you can add your documents from here. You can even have it so that you can add different folders. Now, something cool to note is that if you click on add documents, you can add all these different types of knowledge bases from all of these different sources, from Git, Archive, YouTube, Wikipedia, recursive URLs, which is going to be basically like a scraping function that is going to utilize its ability to scrape things on a recursive basis. You have different URLs you can implement, as well as integrations. For example, you have all these different types of integrations that you can input to load your knowledge base from even Airtable, Copper, and so many other examples. Now that we have all of this set up as our knowledge base, we can then move forward with the next step, which is our OpenAI large language model node. And this is where I give it a prompt to state that you are a customer support bot for World of AI, a YouTube channel for AI technologies, and this is where it's going to be assisting my query or my customers or whoever interacts with my chatbot, and it's going to be able to solve questions. But I also said that you will receive collected data which will contain names and emails, and if there is no name, ask what is your name. If the name is present, what is your email? And then it states that how can I help you has not appeared in the conversation history, so respond with how can I help you. And basically I gave it certain rules to interact with my clients or whoever interacts with my chatbot. After I had given it a system prompt, I then basically had it so that there's different prompts that I have added to connect all these nodes. And you're going to need to do this by simply just clicking on this by adding a parentheses, space, and the question or whatever you want to name to connect this. For example, the input is going to be used as a query. Basically, when a client has a question, it'll be then sent over to the large language model to process that natural language question or that query. You also have context added to provide the knowledge base connection. You have collected data from this node, the data collector, and then the conversation history. Now, I also added a token buffer for the chat memory so that it could basically process previous conversations that have collected previously. Now I have went along and added the next step of the process, which is going to focus on the integration of collecting and sending the data to Airtable. Now this is where I added another large language model node, which you can see over here. And basically this large language model node is going to assess if you have received both email as well as a name. And basically this is in the output. And if it has done that, then it'll then send it to the next condition node, which is something that you can add over here. This is where you can go to logic and add a condition node, and this is to create conditional statements. So what I've done with this statement is that if it has collected the data, one large language model node over here, I added two more basically, is going to extract the name, and the other one is going to extract the email, and it's going to then send it into Airtable to create a basic information table. Now, the reason why I added a condition is so that it can process two different types of inputs from the query. So it's going to process the name as well as the email as two separate outputs so that it could be placed into Airtable easier. And this is where I'm going to have it so that it's going to create two tables. We have the name and the email. So let's test this out. After I configured it, what I did is that I clicked on configure. I added the two fields. I connected my base, and we are going to be able to now test this out. So after you have created your automation, what I recommend you doing is just simply clicking on pipeline being deployed, which is going to save it. You can deploy it as an automation as well as a chatbot. But in this case, we're going to run this pipeline to test it out as a chatbot first. So we can start off by just saying hi. It's going to then process this request. And what's going to happen next is that it's going to ask for a name based off of this data collector field. So I'm going to just simply place in Mahi. And then what I'm going to do is it's going to basically ask for my email. So I'm going to just paste in my email, mahi@gmail.com. And just for reference, this is not my email, so don't send me any emails to it. I'm going to basically paste this in. And within a couple seconds, it's going to then ask me, how can I help you? Now, what's going to happen in the backend is that it's going to then send it over to my Airtable. So within a couple of seconds, we should have it referenced to over here. So I forgot that for the data to be collected over here, I'm going to need to go back to my pipeline and answer this question. So I'm going to say, what is World of AI? Because remember, this chatbot is a chatbot that focuses on assisting any of my viewers on what my channel is. So after I have answered this question, it's going to then process the query, or like basically collect the data and paste it in. And you can see over here now that it has collected my data. Now, this is just a simple data collection workflow that I've created. There's so much more to this where you can collect various types of fields. So you can do all of this AI automation within this platform. And I definitely recommend that you try Vectorshift out. Now, you can also deploy this as a chatbot. So you can simply click on deploy as a chatbot. You can export this by giving it a name. So I'm going to keep data collection. And then I'm going to click save. You can configure it. You can, oh, it looks like I already have another data collection bot, but then you can export this. You can style it to however you want. You can even open this up as a URL so that you can interact with it. But that's basically it for today's video on Vectorshift. As I stated multiple times on this channel, this is a great all-in-one platform that's going to assist you in various ways. So I truly recommend that you try this out. This is definitely my favorite platform for AI automation, and it's something that is very easy to use. Someone for me, for example, who doesn't know how to do automations quite easily, this is a platform that makes it easy, and I truly recommend that you try it out. But with that thought, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you follow me on Patreon. It's a great way for you to access different subscriptions completely for free. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Great way for you to stay up to date with the latest AI news. And lastly, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like this video, and check out our previous videos so you can stay up to date with the latest AI news. But with that thought, guys, have an amazing day. Spread positivity, and I'll see you guys fairly shortly. Peace out, fellas.